So one of the first things you'll notice is a quick language change. My Croatian is a little bit shaky, I'm afraid. So this session is going to be in English. You've heard from the previous presentations that we're living in a real change environment. Boris was outlining the everybody on enterprise, the everybody on world. We had some definitions about cloud from one of our partners, VMware, earlier on. So the purpose of this session is to give you an HP point of view on cloud, where cloud is going, and what is really driving that. So my name is Martin Riley. I drive the cloud marketing programs for Europe for our enterprise storage, server, and networking division, which fundamentally builds the foundation for cloud and cloud services. So one of the facts, which is pretty stark for me as a enterprise storage, server, and networking guy, is that the amount of hardware, the amount of products that you are going to use over the next 4 to 5 years appears to be going to go down. Because, as you can see there, by 2012, 20% of enterprises will not own or operate hardware. And this is one of the phenomena caused by this everything as a service. They are going to take their IT services from somebody else, and they're not going to want to own their own hardware, their own software. So that's a really big seismic change which is taking place in the industry today. And that's something which is going to create issues, because what you need is an environment where if you have your own hardware, your own software, your own applications, you can deliver those, but you also, if you're going to take services from somebody else, because that's the way the world is going to go, cloud services, you need to be able to bring these two things together. So that's going to create some real challenges in how enterprise operate. So this is a really interesting fact. So one of the things that's driving this move to cloud, what is driving this move to cloud? Well, I have young sons that seem to live permanently on their iPhones. It doesn't matter whether they're asleep, whether they're awake, whether they're having a meal, whether they're with their girlfriends, they're there with their iPhone on an app. Their world is completely connected to this little handheld device. Now, when you look at what they're doing, it's enabling their lives to be different. They want to go to a restaurant. They get their iPhone. Oh, there's a restaurant down the road. It's open. I'll make a reservation. That everybody on type of world. Now, that's great in a consumer environment, but in actual fact, that restaurant down the road wants to connect its services with all of those teenagers and young people that want to get to their restaurant. So they see that, and that's a real opportunity. So that business is driving to that everybody on type cloud delivery of service. Now, when they go to their IT department and says, can you give me this? The IT department says, well, yeah, but it's going to take me 18 months to deliver that to you. Well, that's no good, because I want the kids in my restaurant next week. So what happens is that the business starts looking at these cloud services that people are delivering and go, I want some of that, and I want it now. So what they start to do is say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go around my IT department and I'll go and have it anyway. So from a business point of view, the businesses see the advantage. The business see the way forward, but they see IT as the people that are holding it back. Now, from an IT point of view, it's the opposite. So they're saying, well, actually, I need a very secure world. But actually, I can see advantages, because if I can have that instant on type of environment for my business, our company will be much more profitable, more agile, will lead the market. So what we've got is some general agreement between IT and business that this is the way forward. However, there are some things that you've got to overcome. So when you look at the top CIO challenges today, which is inhibiting this drive towards this everything as a service type of environment, what you can see there, top of mind, is things like security. How do I stop people having access to the crown jewels of my business? How do I detect people that are inside my enterprise that should not be there? So there's just two examples of the real security issue, which cloud, by its very openness, actually creates, but you need solutions to it. Vendor lock-in is another item which is cited as a reason why I don't want it to cloud. So if I take a cloud from HP, it means that I am completely locked into HP for the future. I use myself as an example. I could have used any one of the vendors there in the industry. But I'm going to get locked in if I'm totally dependent upon you, HP, and your cloud services. So that's another reason for not going to cloud. Another reason for not cloud concern is the performance and availability. When it's my IT, I can go down to my IT department and I go, tell me, is that application up and running? No, it's not performing very well. Well, do something about it. And because it's part of your organization, you feel like you've got a lot more control. One of the issues is about training and keeping up with IT and all of the developments, yes, but at least you've got control. If I put that application delivery out to another party out in the cloud, do I know where that service is going to be delivered from? So when I run events like this, I use an event software as a service platform. One of the biggest issues I have is the performance management. So what's the SLA? Can I guarantee you're going to be up 24/7? When all of you guys turn up with the event, are you going to be able to register? Are you recognized? Are you going to get turned away? So this SLA is really, really important between you as the service consumer and them as the service provider. And again, it's another inhibitor to the move towards cloud. And then last but not least, you have the cloud IT services, on-premise services. A lot of people are saying, well, yeah, okay, so I'm happy to put some things out to the cloud, but there are some things I must have in-house, but I want them to coexist. Can anybody help me make that coexist? And actually, that would be another reason why I wouldn't want to go down this route. So these are the top reasons that inhibit people making that decision to move the service, the application, out into the cloud environment. So, what is cloud computing? You've already heard a definition this morning about what cloud computing is. There are many, many different definitions. So this one just so happens to be the Gartner definition. There are ones from Forrester. But I think the one thing which is common to them all, it is services, everything delivered as a service. And it's a service that can flex up, it can flex down. It's something that I pay as I use, it's shared, and it's delivered via internet technologies. Now, that is a bit confusing to me, this delivered via internet technologies. The best example I can give of that is my event platform. Everything I do on my event platform, whether it be downloading presentations, whether it be checking the registrations, whatever I do it through a web browser. So that's pretty much the easiest way I can use as a parallel to say, so, what is it? Well, it's something that's delivered through a web browser, and it doesn't matter whether it's a mission-critical application, whether it's a software as a service, whether it's a piece of storage or a compute or whatever it is, it's delivered to me through some sort of browser internet technology. So this is what cloud is in terms of a definition. It is a seismic shift away from an ERP system through a green screen, through a bureau-type green screen terminal we saw 30 years ago. It's a brand new way of doing that type of thing. Okay, different flavors, and again, I won't dwell on this because you saw this earlier on, but there are different, if you like, definitions of the as a service. So there's infrastructure as a service, There's platform as a service, and there's software as a service. Now, for me, infrastructure as a service is, all I want is access to put an application on a server with a little bit of storage. That is infrastructure as a service. So I give the service provider that stuff, they run it on their kit for me, and I just get the results back over the internet. The next example is the platform as a service, where it's not just the hardware, but you're providing some of the middleware on top. And then software as the service is that event management type platform I described, where I just take the whole thing from top to bottom as a stack. And you've got some examples of the people that are providing that stuff. What's really important here is you've got all sorts of logos up there from different people. What's really important here is that open cloud marketplace that Boris spoke about in the previous presentation, where all of these things coexist. You aggregate them together, and you can take a little bit of something from Google, a little bit of something from HP, a little bit of something from Snapfish. You can take all of those things together, and it is an open cloud delivery environment, which should address that concern we saw on the previous slide about vendor lock-in. The cloud delivers the service. We just need to provide the framework to deliver that in a seamless way. Okay, so hybrid cloud environment. So this is a term which is generating in the industry at the moment. And a hybrid cloud environment, one issue that people see is they've got traditional IT, so it's running a traditional ERP type application or a CRM application. It lives inside my firewall, doesn't use internet technologies to deliver, it is traditional IT. And then what we have is the cloud that we just described, everything as a service through a browser. And then you've got this private cloud where everything inside the enterprise is delivered through a browser using automated provisioning types of techniques. What we within HP and what most people in the industry believe is that the world will look like this. There will not be the complete cloud end of things, public cloud, where everything is delivered as a service from the internet. What we believe is you will have traditional IT, you will have private clouds built inside your enterprise, and you will have public applications, a bit like the Gmail, things like that. Those things will coexist, and that is the hybrid cloud. So that's a term you're going to hear a lot about, hybrid clouds, the three things coexisting, being managed, provisioned, and operated in a holistic fashion. So, what do I need if I'm going to move to cloud? And the one thing you can't ignore is the fact that cloud is here. So you need to have a strategy. You need to think about how you're going to move to the cloud.